Good morning. Hope everyone is having a good day so far. Did you know there are approximately 5,000 Swedish farmers who in total produce more than 3 billion kilos of milk annually? Huge number. A Swedish farmer on an average has about 70 to 100 cows. Now, I would like you to picture a typical day in the farm with the cattle, with the farming equipment, and everything that comes along the daily life. Then turn around, and here you have Knowit, a customer-obsessed organization who help customers in their journey to cloud every single step of the way. Our premier partner, Knowit, are also the 2022 Partner of the Year in the Nordics. So, good morning, everybody, again. I'm Shankar Subramaniam. I'm a Senior Partner Solutions Architect working with Knowit on the strategic partnerships. Now, in case you're wondering, what's possibly the connection between a cow and a Lambda function, or an IoT green grass for that matter, that's the story that we are going to tell you today. And who better to tell the story to us than the people who were involved? So this is a story of how Delaval took cows to cloud, helped by Knowit all along the way. So it's my privilege to welcome on stage Mr. Robert Olesen from Delaval and Mr. Johan Rebeklenth from Knowit. Welcome, Robert. Welcome, Johan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oops. Okay. Nice. So I'm really excited about the story. So I have a bunch of questions for you, as I'm sure all our audience members, and we'll get to them in a little bit. So, Robert, can I start with you first, please?
Yes, please.
So tell me about Delaval, about yourselves.
Yeah, I will do that. And yes, we're working with cows, for sure. And as you can see behind me, that's a picture of Delaval headquarters, and also the Delaval, one of the factories we have. And the picture is actually taken from Hamra, which is our own farm as well. So, but Delaval is also we are a manufacturing company mainly. And we're doing milk robots, but we're also doing feeding robots and cleaning robots. But we're also a software company, and we do digital services to support farmers and the industry to make sustainable food.
Great. You mentioned sustainability, Robert. Could you elaborate on that, please?
Yes, of course. But before, I can give you some facts on Delaval as well. Actually, this year, we're 140 years, which is kind of an achievement, I would say. And we also close to 5,000 people, and we're also very innovative. So you can see we have over 1,500 patents during the years, which is impressive, I would say. Yeah.
Great. And Johan, please tell me about Knowit and the partnerships that you've had with Delaval and AWS, and give us a general perspective of what that is.
Yes, sure. Thank you, Shanks. I mean, being part of the cloud business here in Stockholm at Knowit, it's a privilege, of course, and it's a huge privilege to be working with a customer like Delaval, very focused on sustainability. I mean, my mission is, of course, always to help our customers to innovate, but also do and help them in their cloud transformation journey, of course. And at Knowit, we work for a sustainable and human society, and we really believe and think that we can contribute with that through innovation and digitalization, of course. So that's why also a customer like Delaval is fantastic to work with from our perspective.
Awesome. I also want to reiterate that you are the 2022 Partner of the Year in the Nordics, which is a big achievement in itself. So definitely,
yes.
guys.
Thank you.
Guys, please. Thank you. Very supportive audience indeed. Privileged to be on the stage today. Okay, let's move on a little bit more. I mean, I read your title, and I'm really curious about this use case that you chose to do So could you tell us a bit more about why this particular use case? What's the thought of taking cows to the cloud? I mean, are they
Yep.
not happy in the farm?
Yes. And sustainability is one of the main driver, and you also heard it on the keynote. So it's also fits into what we focusing on a lot, and that's same with Knowit as well. So that's why we found each other. But for us, we want to see what we can do in the area of sustainability, but also with the history of our innovations, looking into what you can do with modern technology. What we actually went out for to do something to improve the output for the farmers, but also improve the animal health.
And you mentioned sustainability, you mentioned animal health, animal welfare.
Yeah.
Could you throw some light on that?
Yes, yes.
Are we talking about happy cows here?
For sure, for sure. Happy cows is productive cows. But yeah, you could ask like, farmers, the output from the farmer and improving animal health, that actually go hands in hand. And the more milk you produce for a cow, the less environment footprint, and the better profit for the farmer as well. But to get more milk from the cow, you really, really need to take care of the welfare for the animal. So again, a happy cow is a productive cow.
And cows are social animals too.
Yep.
They are smart.
So, Johan, from your side, what was the driver for this? Why this particular use case? I know you had partnerships and you were asked to do this, but what really motivated you for this sort of a use case?
I mean, of course, Knowit is also, we are also working with our sustainability profile and, of course, work to reduce our own carbon footprint and use resources really smart, of course. But the most sort of effect and the most use that we can do is, of course, work together with customers as Delaval to help to improve and really improve the sustainability and a better society, of course. So that's where we come in and where we can help out, of course, the most. I mean, so, and as Robert mentioned, the sustainability project that this is, and to gain more out of, have wealthier cows is a really, really interesting project for us. We're tech pros, but of course don't know that much about the cows and barns. But since Delaval chose AWS as an innovation platform, and our long-term partnership with AWS, of course, was quite natural that to have this dialogue together with Delaval. We started the journey around 2019, where the team came in. So, I mean, our experience in cloud-native development, IoT, and of course, working really tightly together with customers was a huge benefit for us.
Fantastic. I'm now really curious. Robert, maybe you can tell us, what did you build exactly? What was it that you made out of this in this use case?
Yes. And the easy answer is that we did a better to-do list for the farmers. Think about farmers. They have a lot of things to do. And for example, they want to know if the cow is healthy, is it sick, or is it on heat?
Heat, Robert, please. What is heat? Explain that.
It could be hot as well, but in this case, it's actually that they are ready to be inseminated. So, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
all right.
But also, when you need to find your cow, a barn can be really, really big. So this also really helps the farmer to actually locate, and when they need for help, they can go and do that.
Wait a minute, did you say find my cow?
Yes, I did.
You must be generating a lot of data, I imagine, out of this, right? What do you do? I know what are some of the cool things that you have used behind it? Before we go into the details in the next, can you tell us at a high level what those things are?
Yeah. So I would say we have like 4 parts here. Of course, we have the collection of data from the cow. So yeah, we connect the cow IoT, so the cow actually become the IoT here. And then we also have sensors to collect this data and transfer it. And then the heart of it is the machine learning and building the models to actually get back insights and prediction to the farmer to do the things they want to do. And of course, we're building software on top of that. Yeah.
Wow. So a to-do list built on data on which you use machine learning to help the farmers and happy cows. That sounds as a complex assignment.
It is. I mean, sorry. It is, and as I said, it's also a very unusual situation for our tech people to be part of this sort of environment where we have cows going back and forth in the barn and also, collecting in data. So, I mean, in order to support these high demands, and Robert mentioned it, it's a lot of hardware stuff, a lot of new technology, cutting edge stuff that really needed to be implemented. So from our part, we thought that the good way to do it was to provide Delavalden with an agile team delivery. It's a team working tightly together with the Delaval team, fully integrated. I mean, we got this responsibility to build the architecture, the software architecture in the middle, to be able to sort of take all this data coming from different sources and combining that and using the ML algorithms that the Delaval team produces. So it was a lot of iterating and a lot of course, new tech here. So that was a challenge, of course. But I mean, all in all, I think that the key here, one of the key is of course working really tightly coupled with the Delaval different teams, and here we really succeeded.
It must have required, I would imagine, a lot of agility on your part. A lot of structure and the function that you do would have been so agile, because I don't imagine cows to be sitting in one place and for you to collect the data and then do the machine learning on top of it.
No, I mean, it's of course, I mean, this for us it was a really new environment to embark, and I mean, also having the team to develop over time and adding new skills. I mean, this is what we call an agile team delivery. So what we make sure that the team has the right skills and competence over time. And this is, so we started 2019, and it's now sort of beginning to be a real product. So this is a fantastic journey, but it needs to you need to have patience, also build up the different competences over time. So either you insert it in the team or you complement the team over time. And this is what we call an agile team delivery. Yeah.
Fantastic. Taking the story further on, I'm now really curious to understand, what did you do? What are the sort of the services? How did you really go about it? Because, you know, this is a builder's arena. So can you talk a bit about that?
For sure. I would divide it in two areas. One is the technology, you can see behind me, and then how we did it team-wise, how we built it. But from a technology point of view, you can see that the cows is in farms, so we need to start there. That's where the data is, and we need to connect the cows to be able to collect the data we need to be able to do the advanced modeling that we do with machine learning. But we also need to have things on the farm. So we're working with Edge and we're working with Amazon Greengrass to actually have the IoT connectivity there. But we're also using that for doing calculation. We're actually running some models there to secure some critical functionality there, but also to make cost optimization as well, I would say.
Sorry. So you mentioned a few interesting things I want to call out. You mentioned farm. You mentioned I can imagine it's a rugged environment. You mentioned edge, right?
Yeah.
And I think most importantly, you also mentioned cost optimization. Could you shed some light on that? How does it figure it out?
Now, we're also working, as you can see, with serverless functions as well on the cloud side. We're also using Lambdas on Edge as well. So, and for example, this project with connected cows and all of that, one of the things was to measure the cost per cow, and that's something we're still working on to optimize. And
so this seems to be a journey of optimization, a journey of data collection, a journey of enabling farmers and cows to be happy, right? You are not cow experts. Last time I checked, by no stretch of imagination. How was this collaboration for you? How did it pan out?
Yeah, I mean, I think the team might have gotten quite little bit of expertise right now by this time, but of course it's a very unusual environment. I mean, also it's, as Robert told us about the hardware and the Edge and the Greengrass and all of that is sort of a technology stack, but you should also then remember barns and cows, they are sort of sometimes also located somewhere else, out in a long, out on the outbacks. So the team needed to also think about how do we, and of course Delaval has always been doing this, but how to actually make this kind of happen where no internet connection or unreliable internet connection. So that is what sort of, you really need to think about the environments, of course. So this meant also coming in, so the team, so we focus very much on the team, and they needed to really iterate the solution time and time again. That was really important because no one really knew how the solution and how the application should be in the beginning. So it was a lot of redesign, reproductization, and work with that. But I mean, fortunately, and I think that's why Delaval also shows AWS as a strategic platform, because when having that in the bottom, of course, this makes the project much more easier, of course, because that was one of the key things for the team.
I can add on how we did with the team structure. Of course, we worked with Knowit as a strategic partner, but also for the Amazon. And this project also started when digital service started. So we know manufacturing, all of that, but we didn't know so much about building software on the cloud and IoT. So that's also kind of like one of the things that we started out there.
Yeah.
But we also, internally, we have the machine learning team and the data science team. That's something team we have locally at Delaval. But we are working with the partner up with sensor technology company, and also with a strong partner like you, Knowit.
And I mean, of course, always stuff happens in the project. What I learned about is a term internally at Delaval called the flying cows, which is kind of sort of when they were having a demo, live demo on live cows, and all of a sudden the cows started to fly away. I mean, stuff happens, and I think this is usually what you need to take care of, and of course, iterate again. But that was kind of funny, as I understood it.
Oh, so we started talking about connecting cows to the cloud. You literally took cows to the cloud.
Yeah.
Fly.
Yeah.
So collecting data from cow, it's not new for us, but what is new is we're using some new technologies here and sensors to be able to produce even more data, and the machine learning and the prediction. That's the new part here as well. So, and you would think that it's easy to, you can't, cows are social animals. So if you would stand there and see like how they behave, so say that you identify that the cow's in heat or sick or something, you can't just stand there and look and see, it seems like that, because it will not behave in the same way. So what we needed to do here was to be creative. We need to use video technology to record and be able to see what's actually happening. Also using latest state of the art for face kind of like recognitions to see what's actually going on there. So it's pretty cool, actually.
Cool stuff.
Great. Now moving on to what did this mean to the farmers? What did this mean to the actual users of the system? What are sort of the results that you realized once you did this particular use case?
Yeah. I can start.
You can start.
No, but I would say it's kind of like there's results for farmers, of course, as I mentioned, but also for the cows and for Delaval. But if you're looking at the cows, it's the better well-being, it's faster help when they're in sick. And for farmer, as mentioned, it's a better to-do list, but it's also a way to manage time. But also, it's now they can base decision on facts. They can also try out new things and see if that's actually helping them, changing food, for example. And for Delaval, for us, it's we know manufacturing, and we also have digital service. So collaboration between us actually improved a lot, and that's a good sign for the future.
I mean, Robert, we also talked a lot about, of course, being able to create new services for Delaval and being more relevant, both in, of course, in against customers, but also together with partners. I mean, you partner up with you have a large ecosystem of partners, of course, and being able then to work with them in a much sort of digital and faster way is of course good. Yeah.
Exactly. And another thing is for us to learn, we will learn quicker from the farms as well, because we're going to get this kind of data and we can actually take decision and try out things.
So I think the key takeaway for me there is you had sustainability as the underpin. That's a common theme. You both are passionate on sustainability. You both are passionate on helping the customers, helping the users of the systems, and then you try to collaborate. That's kind of I think the other message. And all this was made possible with the data-driven decision making that you managed to put together within the solution. And Johan, from your perspective, in terms of the results that you got, I know there was you mentioned a lot of collaboration. You mentioned a lot of new things that your team had to learn, because obviously to start with, you were not experts in grooming cows and and taking care of them. You are experts in helping customers. So
Yeah.
how was that journey for you?
I mean, if it's almost that we all forgot them, but 2019, end of that, then something happened. I mean, the team came on board, then end of 2019, the pandemic hit. They are not only what we already talked about, a lot of new stuff here, but of course, just to how to work in a new way and all of that, that was sort of large challenges for the team. But I mean, again, we had a very sort of good focus on the long run and how to build a long-term and sort of sustainable and, of course, really high-performance team. That was the focus. And of course, there we have the Delaval, really invited us to be part of their organization and the culture, being integrated. I think that this was a huge success, of course. So they put a lot of the trust in the team. Of course, there's always rough starts. Some stuff happens. But once again, if you have the focus on the long term and you really put the trust in the team, you will see a really highly efficient team delivering together, all in all. So that I think that was one of the key outcomes here. I mean, also, we part of just delivering on the project, part of it was also to help Delaval on this cloud journey. I mean, they were embarking, the new digital services was newly formed. They had chosen AWS as a strategic platform. We as Knowit, of course, know AWS and the technology really well. So we, of course, helped them also to sort of insert more sort of knowledge about this and help them on this journey. So that was also one of the key results, I think.
And I can add as well, with this project, it also pushed the boundaries for the infrastructure that we need for Delaval as well to provide other type of service. So it's actually pushed us to where we are today with a more kind of like complete offer for farmers.
Yeah.
That's great. I think that's a fantastic story, in my opinion. Let me turn to the audience and see if there are any questions that you would want to ask with our colleagues over here.
Sorry, I have a microphone here for you, so you can use that.
Hi, my name is Dennis. So, how did you find your cow?
The flying one.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, of course,
Fortunately, the flying one was a glitch in.
there was some, of course, hardware issues there. So and on the tech side, but yeah, that was. Let's come to the booth and ask. The team will be there. I don't know exactly how they fixed it, but I don't think that is a problem anymore. So please come by our booth and ask that question. The whole team is here. The Laval team is here. So yeah, they probably have the tech answer. Good question. Thank you.
Great question.
One more question here. How did you actually connect the cow? Was it like cellular, or did it have a battery on it? How can you explain the hardware side on the cow?
Yeah.
It's a tricky question, Robert. Yeah.
Yeah, we still also we are actually launching. It's out there as well, but we haven't really got out with the kind of global release yet. So, but we're working with a really niched and strong sensor company. So, but we have, of course, we have sensors on the cow. I can't tell you where we have it yet. So, and then of course we have a lot of sensors to kind of collect and kind of like what's called.
Positioning, yeah?
Not positioning, with no antennas, but you create networks inside the networks. Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a question here.
Hi. It's such a cool story, actually, and I'm sure that a lot of people will be inspired. So my question is like, I'm sure that you have had a lot of learnings during this journey because it's not like you just built it on a day.
Yeah.
So can you just share a couple of learnings? Like if someone wants to replicate something similar, what are the things that they could avoid, which perhaps you have learned during this journey? Thank you.
I mean, first of all, I think I think it's really important also to sort of choose a partner for it. I mean, of course, starting off on this kind of journey, no one really maybe knows it all. So you need to collaborate. You need to be open. I mean, we had a lot of Knowit was involved, Delaval, and a lot of other partners. So it's an ecosystem of partners. I think that is a good way to start and take in that knowledge, of course. And then, as I said, from our perspective, what we always try to do, or really put ourselves in the first class here is that deliver a high performance, well-functioned team. The agile team delivery for us, is really important. We take responsibility to follow long-term the customer and make sure the team has the right skills and competence. I think that is a good way forward.
And I can add, you might not want to work with cows, but you probably work with something similar. And I would say that don't expect that all cows behave the same and are the same in different environments. That's a learning we did. So cows that lives on mountains, for example, they have different needs. And so something we're learning, and we're still improving our models as well. Another thing I would say is, it's kind of like a generic thing, but you should ask your question. What is the questions you want to have answer early? And then you go validating that. And together with that, I could also give a shout out for, if you haven't looked into it, Amazon's working backwards. We didn't do that in this project, but we're doing that in another project now. And that's actually a really good way of being creative, being innovative, where you start with a press release where you're kind of like working backwards. So that's something you should look into. It's really strong, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the core principles that we employ on any sort of an engagement. That allows us to stay laser focused on the goals and also to prioritize and make sure that we stay true to the customer obsessed behavior. So it's very, very important. It's an integral part of who we are, what we do. Yeah. I think there's a question there.
Thank you for sharing this. It's a great user case or customer case. Could you please just expand a bit on the sensor green grass connectivity? Did you use the free RTOS that AWS provide, or is it a proprietary product that you're using? And I guess the flying cows would not fly when they get back to the barn. It will reconnect and will find the positioning again, or am I thinking out of the box now?
Really interesting question. Robert.
I would invite you to the boat later on when it's not recorded in a way, but we could, one thing I said, of course we are storing some kind of information, so it could act offline in a way, so we could kind of connect later on as well. So, but come to the booth later on. We have the team here as well, so you can get more details there if you want.
Look for the smart cows tag.
It's a great cow. Thank you.
Great.
Hey, I have one more question related to the hardware. So I guess there are thousands of cows. They have all that hardware mounted on them, and that hardware can fail at any time. So how do you deal with maintenance of such a large-scale solution? Is it built into the sensors, or is it some software tricks, redundancy, multiple sensors on the cows and stuff like that?
I think your question is about maintenance of the hardware specific, how that occurs, and what are the different methodologies, or what's kind of the general approach that it's taken. Robert, you have a view on that?
But I can tell you. So we're working with the IoT, and connectivity is one key thing. So of course we keep track of what is up and running and what is not, so we can easily repair if a sensor goes down. So yeah. And we also keep track of most of the thing there on the farm. So yeah.
Any other questions? Oh, there.
I'm wondering if you could give an example of a problem that you solved that made farmers really excited, and also how that communication with the farmers to get them excited for this product. How does that work?
So he's asking, I think the question is similar to the results achieved. So how did this really impact a farmer? How did the farmer react to this? What sort of a value add this brought to the farmer? I hope I've summarized the question correctly.
No, and yeah, the feedback has been great. So when we are doing these things, we're doing it iterative. So we have been working with a lot of farmers to actually receive, and kind of like they have been working with this for a year exactly. So we have a lot of testimonies where they're happy. And for example, this Find My Cow, that's one of the things that helps them a lot. So they can kind of like easily get out there.
I mean, you mentioned the to-do list. I mean, that also very much sort of frees up a lot of time for the farmer. I mean, it gets a really clear indication of this. I need to attend to these cows, or I don't need to attend to this, and so on. So that sort of aid is really useful for the farmer, of course.
Yeah, in the end, efficiency that's one of the key things taken out from here, the efficiency for the farmer. So, but yeah, there's a lot of things to do, and now they can prioritize things in a different way as well. So.
Yeah, prioritization and time management. I'm sure a farmer can definitely use a bit of extra time to look at some other things in his day-to-day life. So, absolutely.
Fantastic. Great questions.
Keep them coming.
Okay, one more.
There are a couple more on this side. 3.
Sorry, this may be a bit strange question, but maybe this is a bit strange use case as well. Have you thought about data privacy yet for animals and in this 4-year project? Because I guess in the future, when IoT is everywhere, people will talk about this. So is this something you thought about?
Yeah, we're actually talking about it time to time, but also right now data is not on the GDPR, for example, but we are talking about that, and protecting data and privacy. It's super important for us. So we are, and we're also global. So we are working in a lot of different environments and countries. So different rules applies different places. So it is crucial for us.
Hi guys, I have a question also related to the data and also enabling farmers to reduce their carbon footprint, because obviously, you know, we're talking about sustainability and we're talking about sustainability goals. I think that, you know, Amazon is able to tell you at each instance what is the carbon footprint of the servers. How important is it to date that especially bigger farmers have the possibility to harness their sustainability goals, and you provide the solution for it?
Yeah. No, sustainability is important for our farmers and the customer we work and decide to work with. So, and we are. This is one of the projects we've been doing to kind of help in one area of the sustainability and animal welfare. But we are doing a lot of other things as well to actually show this, and this is kind of data we would like to show the farmer to see what they're using, how they do, how did they act, how that kind of like comes back to the
I mean, also in essence, I mean, a happy cow and a cow that is feeling well produces more milk, which of course then, you know, in itself then, you know, you don't need to have that many cows to produce the same quantity. So of course this is a really one really important but small thing, of course, to help the farmer and to have the well-being of the animals.
And to add to that, that's actually something that with the support we do and with a product like this or a product like that, it actually makes kind of some type of farmers to be able to have less amount of animals still being productive and profit and sustainable. So it doesn't need to just be big as well. So it's they can choose how big they want to be.
Okay, good.
Okay, thank you. My name is Azeb. I work with Knowit as well. And then sitting here and listening, both of you guys, makes me so inspired and motivated. And I'm so proud I'm part of Knowit as well at this point. So my question is like this technology that you implemented to the farmers, where do you see it in the future? Like, is it doable? Like, because I can see like this is not only for Delaval or not only for the Sweden, especially as a person who came from the third world, 75% of where I came from is farmers. So where do you see this technology in the future? So that's my question. Thank you.
Good question.
I think the question is about what else
Yeah.
out of the
I
process.
mean, just to lead in maybe on Euro, but I mean, we talked about a lot about data, of course, and then also partners. I think that is as we see it, could be one of the really, really interesting things going forward. I mean, the Laval is collecting lots of data on the cows and how they're, behaving, etc. So, when the partners that they're working with are, of course, really interested in this, and I think this is one way. I mean, it's on some kind of imagination what you can do with that, and also working tightly coupled with the ecosystem, I think.
Yeah, I can add to that. And so I would say that we are in the beginning here, so we will be able to connect much more. And as we're a manufacturer, we're actually in a great position here to control that and also kind of build application or collect the data in different way and package it to see individual behavior, but also groups, country-wise. And that's open us for, and for a farm, there's a lot of suppliers. You have vets coming there, you have feeding, so they will be interested, and they are interested in this. So I would say that, yeah, it's just going to be, just the start, I would say.
More to do.
Yeah.
More true list to come. Yep, there's a question.
Hi, my name is Hannah. Nice to meet you. I'm a very creative person, and I would like to see the end product. How does it look like?
So yeah, come to the booth. Maybe we could show it on the mobile.
Cool, thanks.
I think there's a question back there.
Thank you. So I was wondering, how do you handle anomalies in the sensor data? Let's say a cow never shows up on the to-do list but need urgent care. How do the farmers, how do you handle that to make sure that that doesn't happen? And of course, the other way around. Thank you.
Just talking about the anomalies in the data, so differences in what you experience. So how do you cope up with that? How does the system react to it?
You mean if the ID for the cow is the central thing, so that's need to kind of work in a way, because otherwise, if you get kind of data that the cow is on feeding or sick, and then it's the wrong one. So, but I don't really have a good answer to that. But I would say the ID is kind of a key thing, and that's essential, the master data for this, because it's not only about identify what we do here. It's also for letting the cow come in when they should be milked and eating. So it's very controlled with the identity of the cow. So
good. Okay. Any other questions? Great questions. I think very engaging audience. I think very receptive. Just maybe one more question.
All right.
Well, so what are the key takeaways in my mind? So we saw farm, which is a rugged environment, right? We saw a farmer who toils day in and day out. And we have a company, Delaval, over here, who's determined to help farmers, determined to help cows, make a better experience for both of them. Creates a prioritization list for the farmer so he can look at things, he can save time, he can better utilize his available time. They engage a customer-obsessed partner, Knowit, in their journey. How this collaboration has played out. Knowit also did their best, learned a lot in this process, and remained true to their underpinning behavior of sustainability. We also saw how machine learning came into the picture, how data was utilized, and how analytics, or how some kind of a prioritization dashboard was created for the farmers. So all in all, I think it's a fantastic collaboration story underpinned by sustainability, which is, I think, a very important common theme for everybody here. I'm sure there will be many more questions to you in your mind as you walk out of the door as well. Please drop by the Knowit booth. Delaval are there to answer, discuss any other questions, possibly, and have even additional conversations on the topic. The QR codes also will give you some useful information on things that are already in motion. Okay? And before you exit, I would request you to kindly fill in the survey. It's very, very important for us to get feedback from you, what's working, what's not working, what could be done better, etc., that we can bring more engaging, bring more unique use cases in front of you that all of us can get benefited from. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good rest of the summit day here.
Thank you.
Thank you.